Costco, the paradise of giant, low-priced meat packs where millions of consumers believe they're getting a great deal. But do you really know the secrets behind those fresh-looking cuts? Think twice before dropping them into your shopping cart, because things aren't always what they seem. Why did they suddenly start limiting how much meat each customer can buy? It might look like a business strategy, but is there something they're deliberately keeping under wraps? A recent study from Consumer Reports revealed that many meat products sold at Costco contain preservatives and additives at levels up to 5 times higher than disclosed. Some of these chemicals may even increase the risk of cancer. So, are we putting meat in our cart or slipping toxins into our daily meals? Brace yourself. What we're about to reveal about the quality of Costco's meat may make you reconsider your next grocery run. Warning: this could forever change the way you see those bargain deals. 1. Kirkland Signature Ground Beef. A bargain or a silent scam. You walk into Costco and immediately spot a giant pack of ground beef, about the size of a bowling ball, shrink-wrapped in glossy plastic, priced at just $3.99 per pound. It's cheap, it's convenient. You toss it into your cart without a second thought. But did you know that what's sitting in your cart could be a blend of meat from 4 to 5 different countries: Australia, Mexico, Canada, the US. Even imports from Asia are possible, and you're not told any of it? Since 2015, labeling laws have changed. Manufacturers are now only required to list the place of packaging. As for where the cow was born, raised, what it ate, or what it was injected with, that information is no longer mandatory. A label saying "Made in USA" might simply mean it was vacuum-packed there. I used to think Costco was the most trustworthy place, but when I realized the beef I eat every day could come from anywhere, and I have no right to know, that felt like a betrayal. Megan L., a mother of 3 from Texas, posted on Reddit, "It gets worse. Most Kirkland ground beef comes from large-scale industrial farms, where cows don't graze on natural grass but are instead fed grain-based, starchy, growth-promoting commercial feed. As a result, the amount of omega-3, the healthy fat that benefits heart and brain, drops to just 1/5 of what grass-fed beef offers. And that's not all. A 2022 study by Consumer Reports found that 36% of ground beef samples from major distributors contained antibiotic-resistant bacteria, a direct consequence of opaque, chemical-heavy factory farming. Do you really know what you're eating? But this is only the tip of the iceberg. A typical pack of Kirkland ground beef weighs over 2 kilograms, enough for 5 to 6 meals for a small family. If you don't plan properly or lack a quality freezer, the unused portion starts to discolor within 48 hours. Then you face a choice: eat spoiling meat or throw it away. Costco doesn't tell you that you'll need Ziploc bags, freezer trays, or precise thawing routines to store it safely. They just show you a low price, so low you don't stop to think. And if you're still thinking at least their organic chicken must be clean, wait until the next part. 2. Kirkland Organic Chicken Thighs. Kirkland Signature Organic Chicken Thighs at Costco, wrapped in eye-catching green organic labels, instantly draw attention the moment you enter the poultry section. The cuts look clean, fresh, and you can already imagine your family meal becoming healthier than ever with this choice. The product is USDA certified organic, promising no antibiotics or growth hormones, something everyone assumes is good for your health. However, behind the comforting promise of organic lies a truth not everyone knows. Most of these chickens come from large-scale industrial farms, where organic merely means meeting the bare minimum standard. The chickens aren't freely roaming as you might believe. Instead, they're raised in conditions not much different from conventional industrial farms. They're still fed processed feed, and, surprisingly, the use of antibiotics can still occur, even with USDA organic certification. According to reports from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, nearly 60% of all antibiotics sold in the U.S. are used on livestock, and organic chicken is not entirely exempt from these risks. Another major concern that Costco does not disclose is the origin of these chickens. The packaging offers no details about where the chickens came from. No farm names, no regions, not even a vague indication. This lack of transparency raises serious concerns. Nutritionist, Dr. Linda Foster revealed, while organic chicken is often considered a safer option, the fact that Costco never discloses sourcing information means consumers need to be cautious. You have to do your own research to determine whether the product truly meets the nutritional and safety standards they advertise. As for pricing, Costco's organic chicken may appear to be a great deal, 30 to 40% cheaper than premium grocers like Whole Foods. But is it really worth it? The unusual disappearance of this product from store shelves also frustrates many shoppers. The chicken often goes out of stock without any notice, as if Costco only brings it out when demand surges. Even when you do find it, it quickly disappears again, leaving you chasing it the next time you shop. If you genuinely care about quality and food transparency, you may want to think twice before adding Kirkland's organic chicken to your cart. The information Costco doesn't provide might be exactly what makes you reconsider your purchase. 3. Kirkland Spiral Sliced Smoked Ham. As you walk into Costco and spot the Kirkland Signature Spiral Sliced Smoked Ham, it's hard not to be drawn in by its massive size and bright pink meat glowing in the freezer section. You might feel tempted to grab it without a second thought. Just a quick reheat, and you've got the perfect meal, time-saving and ideal for feeding a crowd. And just as you'd expect, the price is incredibly appealing, around $2-3 per pound. Far cheaper than at most grocery stores, sometimes up to 30% less. It feels like you've just discovered a huge bargain. But before you get too excited, let me reveal a few less pleasant truths hidden beneath that simple packaging. The first red flag is the sauce packet that comes with the ham. You might think it's just a natural, healthy glaze, but think again. Each serving of this ham can pack around 30 grams of sugar, which is no small amount and certainly not ideal for anyone trying to manage their sugar intake. Add to that a cocktail of additives like corn syrup, modified starch, and a range of preservatives that are far from friendly to your health. Health expert Dr. Mark Stevens warns, what you're eating isn't just meat. Reading the label before buying is crucial. This ham doesn't just contain too much sugar, it's also packed with harmful preservatives that can seriously impact your health. Then there's the sheer size. These hams weigh anywhere from 9 to 11 pounds. Unless you have a plan to use it all, you'll find yourself eating ham over and over again for days, and everyone knows how tiresome that gets. But the most alarming concern is the massive sodium load you're putting into your body. A single serving of this ham can contain over 200 millimolars of sodium, more than half the recommended daily intake in just one slice. That's not great news for anyone monitoring blood pressure or managing heart conditions. A study from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, shows that excessive sodium intake is linked to serious health problems like high blood pressure, stroke, and cardiovascular disease. So the question is a meal that's tasty and cheap really worth it if it could harm your health and that of your family? If you're looking for healthier options, Costco does offer other meat products that are lower in sugar, salt, and free of preservatives. Just make sure you truly understand what you're putting into your body and the long-term consequences it might carry. As Kirkland Signature Smoked Ham becomes a staple in many households, don't let the low price fool you into overlooking the hidden risks inside each slice. And if you keep exploring Costco's meat section, you'll uncover even more products with surprising stories behind them. 4. Kirkland Signature Beef Hot Dogs. When it comes to Kirkland Signature Beef Hot Dogs at Costco, they're nearly impossible to ignore. Each sausage weighs a hefty quarter pound, twice the size of typical hot dogs sold at supermarkets. 14 large sausages come neatly packed in one bundle, and you pay just about $1 per dog, a serious bargain compared to other premium brands. Though advertised as 100% beef, the reality isn't so simple. According to various food sources and studies, These hot dogs contain multiple additives of unclear origin, including corn syrup, preservatives, and artificial flavor enhancers. This raises concerns among nutrition experts. Mary Johnson, a food specialist and director at the American Institute of Nutrition, explains, "Despite the 100% beef label, the product still includes a large number of additives which can increase health risks when consumed regularly. Even more alarming is the sodium content in each sausage. One serving contains up to 1,500 mg of sodium, more than half of the daily recommended intake for an adult. This figure is especially critical for those with high blood pressure or cardiovascular conditions." In fact, a recent report by the World Health Organization, WHO, warns that excessive sodium intake is directly linked to chronic illnesses such as heart disease and stroke. But that's not all. Each hot dog packs over 500 calories, and who eats just one? 2 hot dogs mean over 1,000 calories in a single sitting, sparking real concerns about weight gain and long-term health risks. Even Costco shopper Tom Lee voiced his hesitation. "These hot dogs are tasty and convenient, but I've become genuinely concerned about eating too much processed food. I've started cutting them back from my diet." On top of that, the origin of the meat is another issue worth considering. Kirkland's packaging provides no information about where the cattle were raised or how the beef was processed. A report from the Center for Consumer Protection shows that processed beef from industrial farms often contains higher levels of saturated fat and preservatives, which may negatively impact digestive and heart health. So, while it may be cheap and convenient, if you care about your family's health, you might want to think twice before adding this item to your cart. And if you're a bacon lover, don't miss Kirkland Signature Bacon. With 4 thick-packed pouches and simple packaging, the quality may surprise you more than you expect. 5. Kirkland Signature Bacon. When you walk into Costco and spot a pack of Kirkland Signature Bacon, it's hard to resist. The kitchen fills with that irresistible aroma of thick-cut, perfectly crisped slices, and the price is even more tempting, under $5 per pound. At that rate, you're not just getting a delicious meal, but a budget-friendly investment for the whole family or a large gathering. But is it really safe for your health? You've probably heard glowing reviews about Costco's bacon. Kirkland bacon is thick, crispy, and doesn't shrink much when fried. Many consumers, like Sarah T., a mother of 3 from New York, say, "I buy Kirkland bacon because the price is great and it always tastes good, but I started getting worried when I learned there's more behind each pack than meets the eye." It's true, Kirkland bacon offers solid value compared to the average market price. It's clearly a bargain. But what most people don't realize is that it hides potential health risks that aren't always obvious. One of the biggest concerns is the high sodium content. Just 2 slices of bacon contain nearly 400 ml of sodium, which is about 20% of the recommended daily intake. And if you think you'll stop at 2 slices, the reality is, most people eat more than that. A full breakfast with 3 slices of bacon means over 600 mg of sodium, comparable to a high-sodium fast food meal. Another major concern is the presence of nitrates, a common preservative used to maintain the bacon's color and flavor. However, numerous studies have shown that regular consumption of nitrate-rich foods can lead to serious health issues, including a higher risk of heart disease and cancer. A report from the National Cancer Research Center warns that processed meats like bacon may increase the risk of colorectal and stomach cancers. So, do you really know what you're eating? Even though the bacon looks appealing with its low price and consistent quality, there's no transparency about the origin of the pork. The label simply states "bacon from industrial farms," without any additional information about how or where the pigs were raised or what they were fed. This leaves many consumers feeling uncertain and uneasy about what they're putting into their bodies. This becomes even more troubling when you consider the long-term effects of consuming processed foods regularly, a habit that could gradually lead to significant health issues. You might save a few dollars today, but could it come at the expense of your long-term health? 6. Kirkland Signature Organic Ground Turkey. Looking for a leaner meat option at Costco? Kirkland Signature Organic Ground Turkey might be the choice you don't want to overlook. First off, this turkey is USDA certified organic, which means it's raised without pesticides, chemical fertilizers, antibiotics, or growth hormones. At $4.99 per pound, it's about 40% cheaper than organic turkey at specialty health food stores, making it a real bargain for those aiming to eat clean without breaking the bank. Even better, ground turkey contains less saturated fat than beef, and each serving delivers 20 grams of protein, ideal for anyone looking to build muscle without loading up on fat. But there's a catch. This turkey comes packaged in opaque plastic tubes, which means you can't actually see the meat inside. It's like reading a mystery novel without knowing who the culprit is. When you open the package, you might find yourself wondering, will the meat be pink or gray? Some customers have reported inconsistent texture. Sometimes it's great, but other times it turns out mushy or watery when cooked. Another frustration is availability. This product isn't stocked consistently at all Costco locations. Sometimes it's there for months, then suddenly disappears for weeks with no explanation. That makes meal planning inconvenient and unpredictable. And perhaps the biggest issue, lack of transparency about sourcing. The packaging doesn't say where the turkeys were raised, what farms they came from, or even what they were fed. Yes, the product is certified organic, but that only guarantees it meets minimum standards, not that you're getting detailed information about animal welfare or farming practices. So, is this organic ground turkey truly a safe and healthy option? It may certainly offer value for special meals, but before you toss it into your cart, ask yourself, do you really know what you're eating? 7. Kirkland Signature USDA Prime Beef. As you pass by Costco's fresh meat section, the thick-cut USDA prime ribeye steaks instantly catch your eye. The marbled fat running through the meat looks like legendary brushstrokes on a masterpiece, waiting to be seared into something that awakens every sense. Prime beef is the highest grade awarded by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, making up only about 2% of all beef produced in the country. You'd be hard-pressed to find it in typical supermarkets, but Costco offers these premium steaks at remarkably attractive prices, ranging from $13 to $18 per pound, far cheaper than restaurants where you might pay 3 to 4 times more. The rich marbling ensures tenderness and flavor. When cooked, the fat melts into the meat, creating that buttery, juicy texture that makes ribeye a perennial favorite. Truly, USDA prime beef is a top pick if you're looking to impress with a special meal. However, not everyone is aware of what comes with these high-end cuts. These ribeye steaks are typically sourced from large-scale suppliers, not the quaint family farms many customers imagine. This raises important questions. How were the cattle raised? What were they fed? Were growth hormones used? Unfortunately, the packaging offers no information on the farm of origin or production practices. An interesting account comes from Emily, a shopper in California, who shared, "I always go to Costco for quality, but when I sliced into the ribeye, I found extra connective tissue and excess fat that needed trimming. I couldn't help but wonder, why am I seeing this in a steak that's supposed to be top tier?" Another issue is the size of these steaks. Often cut at least 1.5 inches thick, they can be challenging to cook evenly, especially if you're not an experienced chef. Instead of the perfect steak, you might end up with an overcooked exterior and an undercooked center, something to keep in mind when buying such large cuts. Still, there's no denying the value and quality of Costco's USDA prime steaks, especially if you're planning a memorable meal. But before you toss that beautiful ribeye into your cart, make sure you truly understand what you're buying. 8. Kirkland Signature Barbecue Pork Ribs. In Costco's prepared food section, it's hard to ignore the Kirkland Signature Barbecue Pork Ribs. Seasoned with a signature spice blend, These ribs boast an eye-catching glaze and a mouth-watering aroma that practically begs you to toss them into your cart. But behind that irresistible flavor lies a series of concerning health issues that many shoppers may overlook. Each serving of Kirkland's barbecue pork ribs contains around 500 to 600 calories, a very high number for a single meal item. More troubling is that over 20 grams of that comes from sugar, accounting for a significant portion of the daily recommended intake. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, added sugar should make up no more than 10% of your daily caloric intake, or roughly 50 grams per day. Just one serving of these ribs can put you nearly halfway there, without you even realizing it. Nutritionists warn that high-sugar foods, especially when consumed regularly, can pose serious health risks, particularly for those with diabetes or a history of heart conditions. Sugar isn't the only concern. These ribs also contain a high amount of fat. While fat contributes to the dish's bold flavor, consuming excess saturated fat can significantly increase your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. A study by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, found that excessive intake of saturated fat raises blood cholesterol levels, leading to a heightened risk of cardiovascular diseases. Another major issue is the lack of transparency on the label. While the product is marketed as tasty and convenient, the packaging provides no clear information about ingredient sourcing, how the pork was raised, or how it was processed. If you're following a healthy eating plan or working on weight control, Kirkland's barbecue pork ribs may not be the best option. The preparation method and the inclusion of sugars, preservatives, and additives can have negative health effects if consumed frequently. So next time you find yourself standing in front of Costco's rib display, take a moment to think it through. Those flavorful, tender ribs may light up your plate, but the long-term health consequences are something few people talk about. Final thoughts. Costco may be a paradise for bargain hunters looking for low-priced bulk meats, but behind the attractive price tags lie unanswered questions about quality and transparency. While you can certainly save money on meat here, every product comes with trade-offs, from vague sourcing to the presence of additives, sodium, and saturated fats. Before tossing any meat product into your cart, ask yourself, is the value really worth the potential long-term health risks? Reading labels carefully, understanding ingredients, and making informed choices are key to protecting your health and your family's. A bargain isn't a bargain if it costs you your well-being.